So what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, guys. I am David. On today's episode, we're going to get into the garden. We have to put up a temporary fence. In my last video, when we did the garden update and we cleaned up the nursery, I showed you the battle that I got into with the deers. So it was deers 1, me 0. So I ended up putting, long story short, you can check out the video, guys, but I'll give you a quick little recap. We ended up putting a little 4-fence, cheap little green fence that I had laying around the property, and we ended up putting that up around to see as an experiment what would happen. The deer did jump over because I did it based on the fact that a lot of my neighbors all have 4-foot fences. They're really short and nobody seems to have problems. So I was like, you know what, maybe we'll get lucky and we won't either. Whatever. Put it up, they jumped over, they decimated the garden. They took out the sunflowers, they bit into tomatoes, all the works. Check out I'll leave a link in the description below for that video. Check it out. So we ended up taking some more of that temporary green fence. I had a couple 8-foot posts laying around from doing our fenced in area for our backyard for our children and the puppy that we want to get to play in. So we ended up putting another row taller to make the entire fenced in area maybe about 6 to 8 feet, somewhere in there. And that kept the deer out. But now we have a new critter right here. You see this? We had the rabbits chew a hole right through the plastic fence. It is a plastic fence, like I said, it's just laying around the property. And it chewed a hole through, and it came through, and it got at our garden. So I had put some new sunflowers into the ground right in front of these guys, and they had heads on them and all that stuff. And they took them out. They took out everything. I mean, I could go through the garden, but believe you me when I tell you they took out everything. The pumpkin patch that was already really hurt pretty bad, they took that out. And then our cantaloupes and stuff that are right there, they took out. Cucumbers, they started chewing on the cucumbers that are way out there. So, needless to say, the animals 2, me 0. These guys got at me again, so now we're dealing with the critter problem. And Shannon and I decided, all right, enough messing around, let's go ahead and just put up a fence. So I went and picked up a couple rolls of fencing, and we're going to go ahead and put them up. And I picked up some chicken wire to put on the very bottom to try to help keep the rabbits out of here. I don't know about the rodents, mice or moles or voles or any of that stuff. I don't know if they can, I'm sure they can get through it. I mean, they get through the smallest of holes. So I'm not too sure how the rodents are going to do in here. We're going to see how that goes. I'm very fortunate that I did see a snake for the first time in the garden earlier today. I didn't get it on film because he came and went really fast. So I'm very happy to see those guys because you want them in your garden taking care of those mice and those rodents and all of that stuff. So I'm very fortunate to see one. But let's go ahead and jump into this. I'm chasing daylight and I got to get a crap ton of stuff moved because if you saw my last video, there's just stuff everywhere. I did everything I could to barricade in the garden area, but let's get it all moved and let's get our fence put up. right, so we got a couple things moved already due to time constraints, and I'm gonna run out of daylight. And unfortunately for me, once this project starts, it cannot stop until it is done. Because if I take this fence all the way down and I don't put a fence back up, well, it's free reign for any animal that wants to come into the garden and take whatever's left over. So I'm gonna leave whatever I can leave and work around it if I can work around it, just for the sake of time. Let's get this fence taken down. All right, well, easy enough. That part is done. Now we're going to go ahead. I have to bring the fence line in about a foot, and considering that the animals just ate all the sunflowers out, even the ones that were regrowing, they pretty much ate. In light of that, I gotta bring the fence line, I'm gonna bring it back about 1 foot, only because it measured out at exactly 100 feet. When I did all my measuring to see how much fence I needed, and that's a really close margin, and I didn't want to buy another 50-foot roll. That's just me being cheap, but I did not want to spend an additional, I think it was $77 or $78 for an additional 50 feet just to get another foot or two out of it. So to make it a little bit more convenient for myself, there's plenty of room in the garden area, so we're just going to pull the fence line back about a foot, roughly. I'm not going to measure it, but roughly. Let's put this new fence up. It is the next day. We did manage to get the chicken wire put up on the lower part as a predator apron. I'm not too sure if predator apron is referred to as one that goes into the ground and up the fence line, or if that's considered to be a predator apron. Either way, we got the chicken wire put up though, so I'm very excited about that. And we got to jump to the front now and go ahead. I put a little barricade, I put a bunch of wood and stuff up front just to keep the rabbits from chewing through up front. And we're gonna go ahead and tackle the little 20-foot span up front right now and get that done so we can be done with this fenced-in area, because I got a lot of work and a lot of other things to get accomplished. So let's go. So next up, we're going to take some chicken wire and we're just going to run it across the bottom. I'm just going to zip tie it in place. I'm going to come back with wire ties a little bit later. Right now, it's just to get it up, we're going to put some zip ties in just in case a cloud over that way is looking a little dark in case it rains. I need to get this up, but I will wire tie it later. Zip ties for now. Let's go. All right, the chicken wire's up, guys, so here we go. I got my cool little nailer here, and I have myself a pressure treated 2x3x8, and I have a cool little Ryobi 1 gallon compressor tank here. And it's perfect for these little jobs just like this where I don't have to bring out the whole nailer. Unfortunately, I don't own a battery operated nailer yet. I will get one, and that's another thing for I'm looking to change everything over to battery power, but I'm looking to do like an ecosystem, or yeah, the ecosystem where they got the riding lawnmower, they have the chainsaw, they have the leaf blowers, like everything can use that same battery. I may be looking at something like that, and that's for another video. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and nail up this 2x4, 2x3 pressure treated to this, so I can somehow clamp it to here. So something like this, we're just gonna staple it on, something easy. I wanted wide enough opening that if we get tillers or anything for the tractor and we take up this fabric next season, or in two seasons, or whatever it may be, I'm not sure how things are gonna go, I wanted wide enough opening to get the tractor in without having to take half the gate down. So this is gonna be wide enough that I can just simply take this and undo it, roll it back, and then we can just, you know, screw it back to this or clamp it, however I'm gonna decide to do that, which I'm gonna work on in a second here. Other than that, once this gets secured here, inside this, can you see it? Yeah, we can. Inside this gated area, we're just going to cut out one of those palings inside, so we can permanently put this on with a couple screws, leave it screwed in, and we can just walk. As soon as we go open this gate, we can just walk right in from inside that fenced-in area. All right, just so I don't overthink this whole entire project here and find myself spending too much time over engineering this particular aspect of it all, I think I'm just going to use a good old-fashioned little quick grip here, a quick clamp, or whatever you want to refer to it as, just to hold this here and keep it in place so I can get in and out for the time being until I come up with a more permanent solution. And I'll come up with that permanent solution just later. I have a lot of work to still get done, and I will sit here and overthink this, and next thing you know, it's getting dark. So I'll think about it when I'm inside editing video and fun stuff like that. So for now, I think I'm just going to use a quick clamp. That will work. So happy about that right now. That's going to get that done. I have to jump into this garden area now, and I need to go ahead and pull up all the old sunflowers that just got decimated, and I'm going to go ahead and put mammoth sunflowers right now right into the ground, because I have some little ones that just popped up a couple days ago, so I'm just going to put those in the ground and call that a day. So here we are in the nursery. These are the plants I was talking about. I got roughly about 35-ish, so 30-ish, because a couple of them didn't pop up either yet or not going to, and then I'm missing one there because the cube itself just fell apart on me. Right now they're just soaking in some water, so that way the soil's good and moist when I put them in the ground. And that's it. Let's go put them in the ground. Alright guys, so the rain held up, thank goodness, and also we got the sunflowers in the ground, so they're looking the part, they're doing their thing. I'm super excited to see if we can take a win home and not get any more animals in here tearing up my plants, but we will see what happens. Who can predict the future? I wish I could, because I'd be rich. Now, all that said guys, we're done. I'm starting to lose the daylight again, so this is going to be it for this video. Thanks for joining, thanks for following along. Please subscribe, like, comment. I try to get to, still a very small channel, so I try to get to all the comments. I had a couple I got to catch up on. So interact with me there, guys. If you have any questions or you got an idea to maybe improve something on my end that can help me out or something like that, I'm never opposed to listening to what you guys have to say also. That's going to be it, guys. So, two things. As always, do not forget to take the time to enjoy what you do. And don't forget, work does not do itself, so don't be afraid to get out there and get after it.